Flag salute.
Yeah.
I pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to
the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Counselor Daigle,
I'm here.
Counselor Sarnoski.
Here.
Counselor Smalley.
Here.
Counselor Hamilton. Counselor Whitaker.
Here.
Counselor Woods.
Here.
Mayor Sumner.
Here. Any media present? Anyone wishing to speak before city council tonight on any subject matter will need to fill out a speaker form and turn it into the recorder. Forms are available in the sign-in table in the back of the room. Please turn cell phones off or silence them during the meeting. Announcement for Zoom attendees. If you're joining tonight's meeting via Zoom, you will automatically be muted upon entry, and you'll need to identify yourself if your full name is not already attached to the device being used. You will be unable to unmute yourself. Public comments will only be taken if prior notification was given to the city reported. Public comment. The purpose of this public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues regarding agenda items only. There will be time at the end of the meeting for citizens to speak about off-agenda items. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. Public comment is a time for the council to hear about the thoughts or concerns of the community. It is not a time for a dialogue back and forth with the council or city staff, other than asking possible clarifying questions. Neither the council nor staff will typically reply to specific comments or questions raised by members of the public. To the extent a response is necessary, the council will have city staff do their best to do so at or before the next meeting, although such timeframes are not always possible to be met. The council appreciates the time taken by the public to provide comments and desires to hear your thoughts and concerns. However, to be able to run our meetings efficiently and to protect the rights of all involved, the city needs to utilize this time as a period of receiving rather than providing information. Thank you for your understanding. I'd like to start off with Terry Brock, who has a report on the throwdown. No, we're gonna just let you. do your
I didn't
report.
bring the trophy. I didn't bring the trophy. He has a trophy.
Let's go. Thank you. My name is Terry Brock. I live at 403 Fairway Estates. Thank you for letting me talk tonight. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Throwdown and also the Stampede and, you know, all the other events going on, music just wraps up and so on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really proud to be here. So we've had some really great things going on. And it's just gotten better and better and better every single year. I can speak firsthand about the Stampede, which was a big success this year. As you know that, it's something that we're bringing back, so it's a work in progress. The Throwdown was, it was a pipe dream about 5 years ago, become a reality 3 years ago, and we've kind of been putting the thing together. Success, I feel like it was a huge success. We ended up with about 9,700 people come to town. We ended up with lots of barbecue teams. I think we had like 38 barbecue teams that come from all over different states and so on. We've also kind of moved into our cause, and our cause is that Made for Trades program that we've been put together. So something that we're pretty excited about was this year, we actually were able to assemble sheds on site with students from all over Douglas County, and then able to auction those off. The money from those sheds actually goes directly into the students' scholarship funds. So the builders get the money. Then we made a little over $18,000 from that. So we were super proud of that. I wanted to thank the city, staff and so on for the great park that we have to work in. I mean, we couldn't do this without the cooperation, or without a beautiful town. People tell me when they come to Sutherland that they love it and they look forward to coming back. And these are people that come from California and Washington, Idaho, South Dakota. We had judges that come from New York City. We had a judge from Scotland this year. I mean, we have people that are coming from all over the place, you know, so it's exciting. And what's really exciting is when they say that they just had a good time, and they talk about you know, how nice people are and how beautiful the area is and so on. So I just wanted to say thank you, and we all should be really proud of ourselves because we put it all together. Without you, you know, without the volunteers, we got a huge group of volunteers and so on. So that's pretty much all I want to say.
What about that international thing this thing has grown to a point that it's, right?
Yeah, so what Jerry's talking about is, the barbecue competition, it is absolutely an international thing. It's KCBS, and then so the teams that are coming here, they're not just coming just to cook a little bit of barbecue and stuff. These are teams that actually want to go to the world champion barbecue competition in Kansas City or the Jack Daniels. So now we're on that circuit. And we're pretty well known for that now, you know, so it's made life a lot better for me and a lot easier for me because now that teams know that Southern is the place to be and the competition to come to, it makes it a whole lot easier to recruit teams. In the past, it's been a struggle to get enough teams to come to Southern. Nobody's ever heard of Southern before, right? But now, this year I actually had to cut registration off early because we had so many teams apply. And we have so many teams that want to come back that I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a quick early registration. I think we're gonna also work on maybe kind of trying to handpick some teams a little bit. People that, you know, they dress up nice and they really treat the community really well and so on. Because that's really what this is about. It's about having a great community event and, you know, and just kind of having a good time that way. So, yeah, I mean, we're known as the biggest and the best barbecue competition on the West Coast. I mean, go figure, you know, it was just something that, like I say, it was just a pipe dream and it's all kind of come to be.
Yeah, and it was all you and Lisa.
Well,
Amazing.
Lisa and I were at the tip of the spear, but I mean, that wasn't all bad because we got to go all over the place and go to barbecue competitions and talk people into coming to town and so on. So, you know, but it wouldn't happen without, again, the volunteers. And, you know, I think a lot of you were there and you see, it takes a lot of people to pull this thing off. I was saying 70, 80 people, but I think it actually takes more than that, you know, to be there and to work the shifts and get everything set up and get everything picked up and put away and stuff. So it is absolutely 100%. It's a community event. And again, I'm just grateful to our volunteers. I'm grateful to our sponsors and absolutely grateful to the city for making this possible and let it happen.
One of the things that I would like to commend you and your people about was we drove by there Sunday morning and that park was basically spotless. And it's hard to believe with all of those people and all that equipment and everything that was out there on Sunday morning, it was all gone.
Well, that was money. Yes, yeah. The grass takes a little bit of wear. Sorry about that. But I mean, there's a lot of people treading back and forth and so on. But it is, yes, and that's one thing that we really take a lot of pride in is come Monday morning. When I can show up at the park and be there when the city comes through and just kind of checks things out and stuff and know that it's spotless, you know, so we do a lot of work to try to make sure that it comes out good. And there again, just to help, you know, if people don't come from out of the woodwork and actually help us get everything picked up and put away, I would still be there, you know, it is a lot of stuff, but anyway, yes, thank you very much.
And
You.
he dropped a plaque off, a beautiful trophy plaque for the city from the Throwdown, and it's over at City Hall. I meant to bring it tonight and completely did not. So just when you stop by, make sure you take a look at it. It's beautiful.
You know, I have to give Toby Osborne shout out to that. Toby is a local manufacturer just outside of town. And he started building our plaques. Well, when Toby started building our plaques is when our event became a lot more popular, especially down in California. Because we were, you know, there again, we were courting the California teams to try to get them to come up to us. So I told Lisa, I said, well, let's throw some of the trophies in the car. So we took trophies down in California and paraded them around and, you know, kind of displayed them through California teams. And, you know, we were talking about prize money and stuff like that. And you care about the prize money, they wanted them trophies. And so if you get a chance, get online, get on the SouthernThrowdown.org and look at some of the trophies if you haven't seen them personally. And Toby's coming back next year, so it'll keep going good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Wow.
Just one thing. I only have one thing. I know.
Confirming is the 50 on the administrative. This will be off. Any public comment for on agenda items? Next. Then we'll move on to consent agenda. July 11th, 2025 town hall minutes and July 11th, 2025 council minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda as presented. 14.
I think it's 14.
Okay, July 14th, sorry. Any discussion? Vote.
Counselor Daigle.
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton.
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods.
Aye.
Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On the council business ordinance 1103. Plan amendment zone change, second reading and adoption. City recorder to read ordinance by title only.
An ordinance amending the City of Sutherland comprehensive plan map and zoning map to amend the comprehensive plan map from low-density residential to community commercial and multifamily residential. Concurrent with a zoning map change from R1 low-density residential to C3 community commercial. 3.04 plus or minus acre portion and R3 multifamily residential. 21.46 plus or minus acre portion, property described as tax lots 3600 and 3700 in section 24 AD of T25S R06W, and the subject 24.5 acre property is addressed as 478 Fort McKay Road and described herein.
Staff report.
So the public hearing and the first reading last council meeting will stipulate to that record unless there's additional.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1103 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Did I hear right? It was like 200 units and stuff. That we're working on.
It can be up to, so this is just the plan amendment zone change. So they only have kind of a preliminary layout of the future development. So the next phase will be either a plan unit development or a subdivision, depending which route they go. So the plan unit development could potentially be heard by the planning commission if they do that. And otherwise, if it's a subdivision, it's administrative process. But notice is still sent out to affected properties.
I think you might have heard that from the articles. And they might have gotten that from up to somewhere. Yeah. Not really sure where. Maybe they talked to.
They had requested a copy of the preliminary layout, which can provide up to or whatnot, so. It's just not part of the approval criteria.
Got it. Any other discussion? Let's vote.
Counselor Daigle.
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton.
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods. Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under ordinance 1105. Sidewalk maintenance amendment, first reading, title only. City recorder to read ordinance by title.
An ordinance of the City of Sutherland, Oregon, amending chapter 12.20, clarifying language related to sidewalk maintenance and repair and adding indemnification provisions.
Staff report.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors, Tammy Trowbridge, Finance Director and Risk Manager. During the best practices review with our city county insurance carrier, there were some deficiencies noted in our sidewalk repair code, specifically in chapter 12.20.010 and 12.20.120. Our city attorney has drafted this amendment to comply with the insurance company request, and council is being asked to review and approve the first reading of this amendment to the city code regarding sidewalk maintenance and repair and adding the indemnification provisions. And the options are to either approve the first reading, not to approve the first reading, or to approve the ordinance with changes.
Do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the first reading of this ordinance. Number 1105, amending the city code regarding sidewalk maintenance and repair, adding I didn't say it. Identification provisions.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? So was this on in here before where it says that all owners of a property adjacent or abutting to their properties are liable for anything that happens on the sidewalk?
That's the indemnification that the insurance, if it's in disrepair, they're liable for it.
Is that normal for a city?
They are recommending that every time so they come through, and Chad is nodding his head, yes, sir, so that it is normal, yes, it is.
Yes, they are. They've been responsible for the sidewalk.
So that's something for sometimes, that if it's bad, they can tear it out.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if that's property or city, but how that will be.
It's in the right of way, but.
What about the sidewalks in front of businesses like downtown?
That's fast.
Same.
That's the business owner's responsibility?
We take part. In some of those repairs, we share some costs, it really is up to them to do, but if it's onerous, if they can't. Like if we had big central improvement project, we kind of shouldered that downtown, we shouldered the financial. Right of that, they shared with us, most of the businesses did, they could, but it is and has been their responsibility.
7:17 p.m.
Sorry.
I guess what I'm wondering is how people know about it.
How do they know? I guess they really only find out if they've got a issue, if a tree pushes up and it becomes a tripping hazard or one of those sorts of. Yeah, we do, yeah.
I would hate to have someone fall and get very injured and then sue somebody and they not know that this little tripping hazard in front of the house was their
responsibility.
Yeah, I was always under the impression that the sidewalks were kind of maintained, also.
I think it's maybe our responsibility to somehow inform the public that they are responsible. I don't know how to do that, I'm just saying something, it can be a good idea.
That probably is a good idea. Like I said, most of the time they get educated when there's a tree root pushes up a big trip hazard and they, in front of their home.
Better to get sued too.
Right, you bet.
Do we actively go out, identify those hazards and let the property owner know?
We do when we see them or when we get a report of something, a big crack that's gonna cause people trouble and just take tripping.
Chad, do you wanna weigh in?
Yeah, I hope I'm not repeating anything. You guys got a little bit difficult to hear there for a couple minutes, but I just want to reiterate to the council that under the common law, even if this language did not exist in the code, the abutting property owner is responsible for maintenance of the sidewalk. And so even if this language isn't in the code and someone trips and falls on the sidewalk in front of their house, they'd still be potentially liable. So we're not creating new liability for them. What CIS, our insurance carrier, is wanting us to do really is make sure that that's in the code for two reasons. One, just so it's more clear to folks like you've been talking about that they have this responsibility. But two, from their perspective, probably more importantly, is this indemnification requirement that to the extent that there is a lawsuit and someone sues the city and the property owner, this language in the code will make it clear that they have an obligation to indemnify the city, so we're not responsible to pay their bills. And so that's really what this is doing, is making sure that indemnification language is in the code. We would make that argument anyways, because we don't have that responsibility to maintain the sidewalk, the property owner does. But CIS prefers, based on case law, to make sure that this language is expressed in the code, so there's no question about it if in case there's ever litigation. So that's the real main purpose of this. We're not creating new liability for anyone. That liability already exists for them. It's just making sure it's all clear in the code, so if there's litigation, between us and the property owner and someone who gets injured, that we've got a stronger defense.
All right, any other discussion? Ready to vote?
Counselor Daigle,
I,
Counselor Sarnoski.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley,
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton.
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods.
Aye.
Mayor Sumner,
Aye.
motion carries.
On to change of ownership liquor license application, staff report.
So we received an application for a liquor license change of ownership for Backside Brewing. And Carly Batch was the person that submitted the application to us. It went through the police department and they found no information that would be viewed as disqualifying for an LCC recommendation. So we are asking if you would provide LCC a recommendation that this license be approved and granted, or to not be approved and granted. And the suggested motion is to have it be approved and granted. And I believe, I'm not sure if she came, but Carly was going to be present.
Is Carla here? You want to come up? Hello. So is it gonna stay backside?
Yes, yeah, everything stays the same. Like it's new owners,
New owners, okay. The menu gonna change up a little?
a bit, yeah,
Okay.
improvements, all good things.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say about it?
I've worked for Savannah and Casey for 7 years. I've managed the Roseburg location for the past 5. And they're just kind of at the capacity of what they can offer the company. And my husband and I are ready for a new adventure. So I think I'm well equipped. I have a lot of knowledge under my belt. Savannah and Casey have been really good about, passing on their knowledge.
Well, Kim is outstanding.
Good. Glad to hear.
All right. Thank you.
If I could comment, I can't let it go. My wife's brother and sister-in-law were in town for their 50th high school reunion here in Sutherland. And they ate there and they said the place was immaculate, the food was fantastic.
Right.
And I just want you to know, that's an unsolicited, very positive comment.
Good. Glad to hear it. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Have a motion.
I make a motion to approve the change of ownership of the liquor license application as presented.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Counselor Daigle,
I,
Counselor Sarnoski.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton.
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods. Mayor Sumner,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, on to the police department seismic phase 2 contract award. Staff report.
Mayor, council, Christy Gilbert, Community Development. So, the police department was awarded phase 2, which is the former city hall site of the seismic rehabilitation grant. And so That award was for $2,154,920. And ZCS Engineering and Architecture was the engineers on phase one. And so in our purchasing ordinance, we have the ability for them to be able to continue that work. And so tonight, we thought they did a great job. So tonight we're asking that you award that contract to ZCS Engineering to continue that work. And that amount is to not exceed $274,300 for the engineering portion.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-11.
No, this is just to the award for the seismic to
Seismic phase
ZCS.
2 contract.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So this isn't actually any work, it's just somebody supervising what they're doing.
This, so it includes the construction management in the end, but this is to engineer. So they came through and did a survey and analysis of the potential repairs that are needed to bring the building up to seismic standards. And so with that, now they'll come back and actually fully analyze, draw the plans, create all of the engineered drawings for the contractors to then come back and get the. So this is gonna be the same process that we went through for what they're going through right now. They're just in the construction phase. We have to start with the engineer, the structural engineering drawings.
Something I've been curious about. Obviously, when they say seismic, this is for earthquake, potential earthquake problem.
He isn't working.
So. We're assuming that building is going to collapse if there's an earthquake.
Have you seen the pillars in there?
It will.
It will.
It will.
It will. The blocks are like disintegrating.
And they're like, they have it from the walls.
It's not reinforced mason. Scary.
This is a grant to do this.
Pardon me?
This is a grant, right?
From
to do
business,
this?
yeah, from business. Org.
Okay. I just wonder sometimes things like that.
Yes, engineers are very expensive.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary. My world.
Good question.
Because you should be an engineer, not have to do anything, but how to do stuff.
Well, you hate for something to go wrong and then it be on your engineered signature, so.
Yes. You know what my experience has been, people who actually do things, instead of telling people how to do things, usually have a better idea how things need to be done. And they usually do a better job at that. They don't really need somebody to tell them how to do it.
I appreciate all the engineers' work that we have, so.
Anyhow, that's my 2 cents for it. I don't want any change.
Any other discussion? Ready to vote?
Counselor Daigle.
Yeah, okay.
Counselor Sarnoski. Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton. Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods. Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution 2025.11, correction to URA property deed. Staff report.
Mayor, council, Christie Gilbert, community development, again, not a contract this time. So this resolution, back in 2022, when we purchased the Everett property, we inadvertently just put it in the city's name. Have since learned that it should have been put in the urban renewals ownership. And so this resolution would authorize us to move forward with changing the deeds in order to pretty much make that paper trail correct for the next deed transfer. So we want to correct it from the city ownership into the urban renewal ownership, as it originally was intended to go. I just didn't know any better.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2025.11, correcting the ownership of the property.
Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025.11. Any discussion?
Was it originally purchased with urban renewal money?
Yes,
It was.
it was. It was just, not realizing the separation, in the names itself, we just put it in city of Sutherland, thinking it was one of the same, and since learning that it was to be its own entity, so.
Any other discussion? Questions?
Why was this, Talked by the California?
So one of the original owners was from California, so then their signature was, they have to have it notarized there. They have a different way of notary.
Any other discussion? Vote.
Counselor Daigle,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton. Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods. Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under reports. Do we have any reports? Under workshop, firework discussion.
So previously at the last meeting, you had asked to have the firework discussion brought up, after, Counselor, Whitaker had brought that up, so this would be the time to have that discussion if you want.
Okay. Would you like to start it?
Well, as I said last time. This last 4th of July. Was the loudest on record. The bombs are getting bigger. It was like we were actually in a war zone. And it just seems like, to me, I mean, they're not legal. We can't expect the police department to go out and try to chase these people down, because once it goes boom, who knows who shot it. So I just wanted to see if there is some way that we can not prevent it from happening, but discourage it from happening. And what I suggested was, if somebody gets caught, they have to pay a big fine, not a little dinky one, but a big fine. And they might think twice before lighting off a rocket and sending it out. It affects a lot of people, not just the dogs and cats, but we have people in the neighborhoods that were in a war zone, and they're still affected by that. But we have children that get afraid. It's not something that we really need to have going on in our neighborhood. I don't mind. I like to have the fireworks that go on the street and the kids can watch them, and they, they make little thingies and whatever, but to shoot off those big bombs is just, well.
They definitely weren't just firecrackers, they were loud bombs.
Well, they're shooting off like professional
Yeah.
fireworks.
Yeah, they were horrible.
They're mortars.
I think Larry's got the right track on this. I just want to add it. There really wasn't much in my neighborhood to share.
Word,
I heard
come
some.
back here on South State.
Yeah, it's South State, it was a major.
Usually, in fact, that was the other thing I thought was strange. Usually, well before the 4th, we started hearing stuff, but I actually didn't hear anything until the 3rd.
Right, same here.
And then I did hear some other stuff. But anyhow, I think
And it
Larry's
went
got
on
the right
for 3
idea.
nights, that's the thing.
Yeah. I'm curious, is there anyone in the audience that has a thought about fireworks in the community? What question?
So Brent, Ridge Joker. So coming from Southern California, once upon a time, you would go up in the foothills and look out over the San Fernando Valley, and in the parks, there would be established fireworks going off that were sponsored and controlled, and the fire department was there and everything was wonderful. Well, then gradually we started getting the mortars that would go off, and every year it would double, and then it would triple, and then it would quadruple. And after a few decades, you would look over the San Fernando Valley, and I'm talking 50 square miles. There was not a square inch that you didn't see a mortar going off all night long. I'm talking millions of mortars, billions of dollars going up in the air. And what did you see dispersed in between all these mortars? Fire trucks running in every direction there is, trying to put out roof fires, grass fires, you name it, fires everywhere you could see. The city let it get out of hand. Nobody enforced it. There was talk of, oh, we should do this, no, we should do that, but nobody did put a fine, which is a darn good idea. And the word would spread around at that point, and the people would stop. And if you don't nip this in the bud, if you think it was loud this year, wait till next year and the year after. It's gonna happen. These kids get these things cheap. They come out of Pahrump, Nevada, and kids buy them by the truckload. I don't know what they're paying for them, but they're a hot commodity with the young people and some of the old juveniles. And if you don't nip this, you're gonna have a fire. And you're not gonna have a small fire, you're gonna have a lot of fires. And you don't have enough fire department to take care of it, and you gotta nip it now. I've seen this happen before. Let's not do it again. Thank you.
Anyone else? Either chief have anything that they'd like to say?
Do we have any fires in town at all?
I'll do whatever you want me to do, first of all. So there's that. Like for the 4th of July, you know, we actually went to every complaint we got 12. We went to every complaint. Half the complaints were about illegal fireworks. They weren't illegal. It was just kids. I mean, it gets dark at 10. People are out in the streets at 10 till, you know, midnight. There was a lot of complaints about, because I think those whistling Dixies are worse than the mortars personally, but yeah, we go out there, we enforce as much as we can. There are some pretty hefty fines on it the way it is, through the Oregon Revised statutes. Then the state fire marshal actually has a $500 fine as well that we can enforce. But it's a matter of like you all said, we're chasing mortars, and the minute we see one go off, another one goes up next to us. So we try to go to that one. And of course, nobody knows nothing when we get there, you know, and we have to see it go off firsthand to do anything about it. So we can take complaints all day long that they're doing it, and we show up. If we can't prove that they're doing it, we can't do anything about it. And so
Is it a violation or?
it depends on what we see when we get there, go all the way up to, you know, some pretty serious misdemeanors. From disorderly conduct to noise ordinance to offensive littering.
But misdemeanors, if someone tells you who did it, you can cite them, right? You don't have to.
Yeah, we can, and then it's a matter of going through the whole process of going to a backyard with 50 people and finding which one lit the fuse. You know, so it takes a lot of time to do it. Not saying I won't do it, and I can call up people for overtime and see if we can work it for overtime. And just that's what we'll focus on. It's up to you all, but like for the 4th of July itself, we had 88 calls for service that day. 12 were fireworks, so we were doing other things as well that were pretty important stuff. We had some disturbances and some domestics, and that comes with every, you know, major event. So the last thing really we're looking for is mortars going in the sky, unless it gets reported that it's dangerous. You know, they're endangering somebody, or they're aiming them into the mountainside or something like that. Then, you know, fire goes as well, to kind of quash those things and hold people accountable. So it's kind of like when it goes through dispatch and things as well. They prioritize the calls. You know, we're obviously going to go, you know, assist our citizens before we go and try to find mortars. But they kind of prioritize everything, and that's how they dispatch it to us. Because a low priority call, we may not even get it dispatched to us until everything else is cleared off the board, and by that time everybody's in bed. So that's kind of where we're at with ordinance.
I did not call, but I wanted to, and I have personal numbers. But
Where'd you get those?
they were very loud, and it was 2 houses behind me, and I was afraid one of those was gonna land on my house.
Yeah, like I said, if it's, and we tell everybody every year to call, if you think it's dangerous or whatnot, and people do. This year there was only 12 people that called. And then, yeah, we did stop and deal with a few things on our own that we ran across, so.
$500.
Yeah, the state marshal has a fine of $500 for that. Ours go to like a year in jail, a $250 fine. So however you want to play that, but
So maybe
it depends.
newsletter the month before, we should remind people that.
Maybe,
Yeah, I know the fire marshal in the state of Oregon, they send out, they do a pretty big social media campaign on what's legal and what's not, and the fines associated with those, those mortars or anything that's not legal under definition. And so it's out there. People know, they know it's illegal, but they zip up to Washington or Nevada and grab what they can, and then they come here and, once every 15 minutes or so, they'll pop one off, and of course you can't find where it's coming from, but sometimes we get lucky.
I'll show you next time. 'Cause
like where I used to work, they had on Fourth of July, they'd have all the firefighters go out in pairs and different, in all the, brush rigs and everything. And they just drive around for the evening and just kind of as a show. And, educate people and be kind of more of a deterrent. And I don't know if with all of our volunteers or students or things, if maybe we could do that for 4 hours in the evening or something like that. Would that be something we could try?
I'll volunteer Mike's people all day long.
Do we have any fires?
We got everything.
Not that I know of. Mike could talk more to that though.
Fires, not that I'm aware of. Volunteers are a unique breed, if you will. We have a difficult time getting them to respond to our calls, let alone patrol neighborhoods looking for mortars and whatnot. So it would be very difficult for us to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we could be like Eugene, I guess, and we could just ban the fireworks from the city.
The 4th of July is like crazy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I think it might be, maybe for the first time, we just do a little better job at, educating people and maybe the newsletters, the floor and talking about it on our Facebook pages, maybe the police and fire, start putting it out a little more and see if that deters more people a little bit in the city. And then, and have the police keep the eyes out and educate people more. Try that for a year and see how it goes.
Could you give them a place to go shoot them off?
That'd be
Baseball
nice
field.
if we had a place that people could go.
Yeah, you're gonna go bring your big toys down to the baseball field and shoot it off there.
Cooper Creek, that'd be nice.
No.
No. No, they're still illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay.
Oh, right.
Still illegal.
At Roseburg.
It's true, illegal.
All right, thank you.
Oh.
Next thing, city manager recruitment discussion.
So a week and a half ago, we had the hiring committee meet to go over a tentative outline for the city manager recruitment process. So we could communicate that today and kind of move forward with those plans. So in that meeting, we looked at having potentially 5 executive sessions, having one this evening after council to review the applications that have come in. Having another one on August 25th, if we think that there's enough, if you guys think that there's enough applicants, quality applicants to move forward to review. And then on September 5th, potentially having second interviews, an introduction to staff, a community meeting, and having those applicants be shown around town. So the idea would be that those applicants are getting a good idea of who the city staff are, who the council is, getting to meet citizens, and really getting to know Sutherland. And then on September 8th meeting to finalize any decisioning. And then finally on September 22nd to try and meet to conclude any ongoing conversations and come to a conclusion. All these dates are kind of tentative to each step in availability, but we wanted to put something out there for the group. So and for citizens to be able to hear the process too.
Anybody have any questions on those dates or?
Did you sit there into executive session tonight?
Mhm.
Wasn't sure.
Right, well, thank you. Any next city manager report? Anything?
No, ma'am.
Under council comments, remember monthly meeting time is limited. Please ask questions or make statements that are likely to benefit the group. Individual comments and questions that can be handled on a one-on-one basis should be handled outside the meeting. Start with Councilor Daigle.
Oh, boy. Yeah, actually, I have something that. I think, considering our future with financial issues that's going to happen, obviously. That we need to like apply a priority to things that we're gonna spend money on, and of course. Important things like public safety should be right up there at the top of our list, and maybe work down from there, but I think as a group, maybe we should come up with a priority list of what we spend money on first, and not spend money on when we're out of money. Anyhow, that's my thoughts. I'm done.
Kind of do that every year. We have a list of priorities.
Well, we have both the jobs to do that. I think specifically we need to do it for spending.
Are you thinking of having a workshop to decide that?
I don't know if we need a workshop, but if we do, I guess, but somehow I think we need to. Think about that, we're gonna run out of money here in the future, and it could be a problem for a lot of things. And having a priority list would give us a little guideline for what we should spend money on and what we shouldn't, I would think.
Madam Mayor,
Mhm.
If you're gonna go down that path, I'd like to suggest that our staff create what we believe is a list of how we look at it. And you hand it over to you to look at and see what you think, modify it or amend it or agree with it. But I think city staff are well positioned to know the delivery of services, the outcome if you don't do it. That seems to be the biggest parameter. What we do as city managers, we look, what would occur if we didn't do this? And then we work backwards from there and go to the point of concern. So I think that's something our staff could do if you would. Before you have a workshop, just let us know.
Okay, I think that would be a good thing to, as you guys have that, have time to do that, that would be a good thing to start with. Are you good with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Well, we have priorities of the projects and how we do things, but not specifically bare bones. If we had to eliminate an essential
Clerk's maintenance.
task of the city that we do every day, what would it be?
That's what the budgeting process is.
Yeah. We could have that as a plan, so if we ever had to get to that, we would know. Plan. Counselor Charnowski,
Nope, I'm good.
Counselor Smalley,
Congrats to Terry, and the Throwdown is pretty awesome. Walking around that event, man, makes you pretty proud to be part of this town, so it was cool, and the Music Box Central, very nice, so. Some good stuff. About it.
Counselor Hamilton,
I just want to thank everybody that came out to Music Box Central this summer. It ended with our finale, probably the biggest. It was real close to Diamond Rio a couple of years ago. And all the great comments I had there and online have been fabulous, so we appreciate that. And just, we've got a lot of great events going on, Terry's, and the rodeo and Blackberry and all of them, so. Anyway, thank you.
Councilor President Whitaker,
No comment.
Councilor Woods.
I too, the music off control was very well done. I really enjoyed and was sad to see it come to an end this summer. It was pretty enjoyable. All the kids really liked going all summer long.
Appreciate your kids being there.
Every session was pretty amazing for them. And then also Ford's Pond, we did some events down there at Ford's Pond, and it was pretty nice to be able to see how much utilization that's getting during the day. Even when it's been hot out, people are still going out and running around and hanging out there. So it's nice seeing people come in and out of our city, enjoying what we have here.
Nice. So yes, definitely want to thank Terry for all of your work and for all of the volunteers' work for our outstanding events for the summer. It's been an outstanding summer. It seems like it went really, really fast. I know we have one more event, Blackberry Festival, and then it's off to they got cooler weather and fall. I'm looking forward to it. I already have snow on my watch. But pushing for colder weather. I would take snow over 100 degrees any day.
I'll take the 100 because I can sit in here and freeze. Right.
And I also want to acknowledge one of the officers. I received this letter from a family in Santa Rosa, California. And Officer Fox on July 4th stopped a gentleman who had Parkinson's disease and started dementia, who actually took a wrong turn from Sonoma County, California, and ended up in Sutherland. Ooh, that is a long ways out of the way.
Start with S.
Yes, and he was very kind to this gentleman, called the EMTs, got a hold of family. Stayed with him and was very kind and helpful with the family who drove all the way up here to help this gentleman. They were so overwhelmed with his compassion that and they were a little upset with him. They wouldn't turn his lights on when they were driving them down to where he was, but they really praised his compassion and his the way he handled the whole situation, and I just thought that was great that they identified him. And wrote this letter to me and the chief, and so I just think our officers do a wonderful job in helping our citizens and our visitors, and so I think that was awesome. So thank you for that. And that's all I got right now. So I'd like to move on to public comment. Purpose of public comment is to allow citizens to present information regarding items off the agenda. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. And I have one from Michael Zula. Yes, come on up.
My name's Michael Zuloff, and I own the Umpqua Golf and RV Park by the golf course. And I just want to comment on the public safety fee. I think a lot of people are just kind of becoming aware of this. A lot of people aren't privy to it yet. I just wanted to express my thoughts on it. I love Sutherland. It's been a great community. We have tried to provide housing, low-income housing. We have 41 spots. And we have about 38 to 35 residents that live in the community. The letter that I received on the public safety fee basically stated, here's what it is, here's what we're going to do, and if you don't like it, too bad, pass it on. Our customers cannot keep taking increases, and eventually It's just gotten excessive. It impacts me $8,800 a year. That's more than my property taxes. The drive-in theater, it will impact them 50,000 a year. And so the public safety fee, I don't know what the hotels are gonna do. But I'm hoping that if it does get on the ballot for next November and the voters can vote on it, if it can go down that road, I need to make sure I have 41 votes. And I think that the movie theater can exercise over 200 votes. And I think that that's something the city's going to need to figure out. Because if you're going to ding me 41 charge and then I only get to vote once, I think that's wrong. And then the accountability for the money. Where's the money going to go? All I've seen is, well, we're going to take all this money from you, and we're faced with higher insurance rates, higher water rates, higher garbage rates, higher power rates. I mean, you know, you live here, and it's getting awful difficult for a business owner to continue with these increases. I would like to see, I have an additional 3.5 acres down below. I'd like to see another 50 units be put down there. There's no way I'm going to do that now. That will impact me or $12,000 a year on top just to have the privilege and that to be there. Plus, I'd have to pay the impact fee if I developed it, and then I'd have to pay the utility fees on top of it. I mean, the cow only has so much milk. I mean, it's getting thin. So that I just wanted to express my attitude and my thought on it. And I know it's awful early in the game. I do understand the city of Sutherland needs revenue, but I think the way it went around, I don't think it was correct. So anyway, and anybody want to comment?
So we did do a lot of education on this. It was we had a town meeting, we had flyers put out, we had it was on our Facebook page. It was the police and fire department were out talking about it. It's been at city council several times. I would encourage you to, if you have any questions, to talk to Chief Mills, and also about your payments for each of your units, maybe having an appointment with Christie and talking to her about that. And getting a little more information about it.
Well, what I've just seen it on my utility bills all of a sudden, $369 for the water bill on top. That's more than the water bill sometimes. And now I understand it's coming from Douglas County Electric. It'll be on my electric bills, and
that shouldn't be anything to do with this public safety fee. It's not anything to do with the Douglas County Electric.
Okay, so you did not add that to the public, you didn't, okay, now on the internet, it's saying that you did, and I have yet to see my power bill. But on the internet, it's saying that they will collect the public safety fee also.
It's not us.
Okay, well then that's fair.
Madam Mayor, can I suggest maybe give Christie, give her number and set up an appointment. Let's do an audit of your business to see how the public safety fee is being utilized.
Okay, that would be nice.
So I don't know, we might be able to come up with maybe you're being charged erroneously and we don't know it. So
okay,
let's take a look at it and try to find a way to make it work.
I'd like to try to develop the lower acreage. I know the city of Sutherland, we're housing. It's all about housing, affordable housing.
Exactly.
And you need these people here because they need to fill jobs.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of them can't afford a house, but
yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, so we'd much rather work with you and give you the correct information than.
Okay. Thank you.
Than have you leave upset like this and not get all the correct information. And sometimes I really hate when people just get something on Facebook and maybe not have all the accurate info.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I was just gonna say, good job.
All right, did I miss any other ones? Okay, cool. All right, at this time, we'll be adjourning for executive session called under 192.662A to consider the employment of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. We will allow 5 minutes for the room to clear. Adjourn.